In my mind, I believe that Dean Ambrose versus Luke Harper at WWE Extreme Rules 2015, honestly, in my mind, is the match that does not have any appeal to me. I dedicate this as the #1 match that does not need to happen at Extreme Rules. Dean Ambrose and Luke Harper. I had to look it up on WWE.com to find the basis of why these guys are fighting in a Chicago street fight at Extreme Rules. This whole feud is built around the WrestleMania 31 ladder match, where Luke Harper powerbombed Dean Ambrose outside of the ring. The big spot that Ambrose took where he got powerbombed outside of the ring and he landed with, it looked to me like a whole bunch of guardrails on the outside. The spot that they really focused in on Ambrose, basically as, the rest in peace spot, where basically we never saw Ambrose again throughout the rest of the match. There was some talk about Ambrose actually being injured, but then again he came out on the next night on Monday Night Raw, and it was off to the races. He had the good match against John Cena that night, and it was all forgotten. But the next, or I guess it was that same week, it just happened to be on SmackDown. Dean Ambrose and Luke Harper, they had a match where Luke Harper ended up throwing Dean Ambrose through the announce table, and that was the end of that. From there, Luke Harper would have a match on the following Raw, where it was a match that ended in disqualification against Ryback. Once the match was over, Dean Ambrose hit the ring, and we saw Harper and Ambrose get into a big blown-out brawl. Then comes the match on this week's Monday Night Raw. Before Extreme Rules, it's Ambrose versus Harper. Once again, these guys fought to a no contest, and WWE just stepped in and said, you know what, you guys have to work this out. We're going to have a match between you guys at Extreme Rules. It's going to be a Chicago street fight, and you guys are going to have to basically figure out your differences, find out who's the best guy. When it comes to a Chicago street fight, this match was built, honestly, I was about to say for Dean Ambrose, but honestly, I think this Chicago street fight was drawn up for the Road Warriors back in the NWA. But honestly, in my mind, Dean Ambrose, since the Shield is broken up and he's no longer wearing the Shield attire, now he comes out wearing, just basically jeans, boots, and a white wife beater. Dean Ambrose portrays, in my mind, just sort of a biker guy. A guy that can get off of his bike and get into a fight with honestly just about anybody. Luke Harper is a guy with the Wyatts that I thought was honestly a real true badass. A guy that looked like he was sort of hypnotized by the power of Bray Wyatt and just be able to act out any wish that he would have wanted. Since they have broken up, I have no idea why Luke Harper is still in this trance that he's been in, but definitely they think that his eyes are definitely one of his brightest features. It's what's put into his WWE Titantron when he comes walking out of the back. But Luke Harper is definitely a guy that can hold his own with any big fight. He's got the big boot. He's got the big, huge clothesline. He's had some good matches. Luke Harper versus Dolph Ziggler at the TLC pay-per-view kicked off the show in extreme fashions. It was honestly, in my mind, was one of the match of the night. So we all know that Luke Harper can deliver. Honestly, in my mind, I want to see Ambrose win this match. I know that Ambrose doesn't win a lot of matches on pay-per-view, but honestly, when it comes down to it, he's a guy who loves to fight, not to steal that from Finlay that much, but I can really see Ambrose beating Harper in this match, and from there, hopefully becoming the #1 contender, going after the Intercontinental Championship, whether if it's Daniel Bryan or whether if he's injured and they have to strip him and maybe it's Bad News Barrett. But Ambrose is a guy that looks like he's on the rise. I know that we've already seen Ambrose versus Barrett at the Fastlane pay-per-view, but Ambrose has that past storyline sort of feature to him that he wants to have his picture on the wall at the WWE Titan Towers of the hallway of Intercontinental Champions. He wants his legacy to continue forever, and this is one step toward to get there. I know that it's not a true all-out #1 contenders match, but this was based out of the Intercontinental Championship match at WrestleMania 31, so I can see the winner of this moving towards that. But then again, there is Dolph Ziggler and Sheamus. Sheamus, of course, making his return at the Raw after WrestleMania, bro-kicking Daniel Bryan, and basically, delivering promos about Daniel Bryan, saying that he needs to get rid of all of these underdogs of a WWE, so maybe Sheamus is going to be stepping in, saying he's the #1 contender. So we'll see what's going on with the IC belt. We'll talk about that in a little bit when we get to the Daniel Bryan versus Bad News Barrett video.